live from the loft.
Right, do you want to get in place?
Yeah, we'll do, yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure we are live now.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't expect that, did you?
No, I didn't.
You expected me to tell you, didn't you? That's
Yeah.
because this is just a quick thing to see what happens. So do you want to say hi to anyone who pops in?
Yeah, I'm curious actually whether anybody has turned up. It's completely unannounced. The whole purpose of this is last night on the live stream, one of the problems that we had was quite simply that lots of random noise was getting through the microphone. We've had this for a long, long time, and we brought live on air a what would you call that?
There you are.
Yeah, what would you actually call that thing that's on the microphone?
It is a shock absorber.
Yeah, shock absorber for the microphone. And what it does is it means that when I do this, you'll still hear the noise of it, but it's not coming through like somebody's crashing cymbals in your ear. And that's the whole point. But we've got trains running. There's currently one person watching.
No, there's not. There's a few.
Oh my word, it's just going up and up. It's like, hello everybody. It's very impromptu, this. It's not a scheduled live stream. It's quite simply that we're testing some new equipment.
Yeah.
And the best way to test it is to go live. So I guess whilst I'm on, I might as well tell you, for those of you who haven't heard, the Daypole 260, is it the Manor or the Mogul? That has been put back. It was due on the 20th of September, so that has been pushed back because Daypole have found a fault with the models. Not a major fault, I think it's something to do with the livery application, and that's being sorted out. My word.
Alec Transport says you're already behind on the chat.
James Sucks in Life asks, Jenny, can you run the Class 5, please? You did ask before, actually, so yeah, why not? So,
Well, basically what we're doing is we're testing the new absorber on the microphone, so you shouldn't get the vibrations from the trains and all that. It should just be the sounds of the room now, without the bangs and knocks and everything else. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do here. Oh my goodness, I am loud. So I'm going to turn the sound down a little bit.
Yeah. So
you'll still get the sound of the trains, of course.
I've got the Class 5. I'm waiting actually for the Class 24 to come around. I'm going to put it on.
Everyone's saying Gronkfest. So what were you saying about this announcement?
Yeah, it was just Daypole announced earlier today that the I think it's the Manor that is supposed to be coming out on the 20th of September. It's been delayed because of a minor issue with livery that Daypole have identified, and that's being corrected at the factory, and they're saying about 4 to 5 weeks delay that's going to add. So we're looking at end of October now for that model. So your credit card will breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, yours won't. You'll find something else to spend it on.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, no.
This is what happens when you invent a roller coaster on your model railway, Jen. You get things running away.
What it actually does show is that there is quite a gradient going on. And the gradient I did build in simply because I thought it would be a very good test for locomotives.
Everyone's saying that it sounds better. That's good. Guys, really, we've added this absorber because of what was happening last night and a few weeks ago as well. We wanted to make it sound as good as we can. Tony Wright says it's an unexpected pleasure. That's Jenny for you. Unexpected and pleasurable.
Oh, well, at least I'm pleasurable, I have to say.
Yes,
right.
No one expects Jenny Kirk, except on the Monday Club.
Yeah, I'm going to change the camera angle, otherwise you won't actually get to see the Class 5. So she'll be coming round the mountain at some point. I see you've got both phones.
Yeah, I'll set it up for you so you can get the chat.
Lovely.
I'm going to pop down these stairs and we're going to see what happens with the noise then.
Josh's Train Room, hi for you. Tony Wright says excellent sound. Pork Chop Express, Rule 1 Model Railways, hashtag Gronkfest 2020.
Gronk it up, baby.
Okay, let's go Gronktastic. So I'm going to replace the 31 with a Gronktastic experience. So here she comes. It's pretty much the same stuff that was on last night on the live stream. You've just seen the Class 5 go past, so that's on and up and running. So let's Gronktastic this up. Gronks, what Gronks? I'm going to make an executive decision and go a little bit unusual. Class 9, I think. So this is Dick Hardy. Echo 9012. I don't think that she's run in a very long time, so we might have to give her a prod. I think. Yeah, this locomotive you see is not run in a long time, so I think they just get an oxide coating on the wheels, and you have to. Once they've run a little bit, they seem to clean themselves up. It's not a biggie. But there we are. There's a Class 9. That's a Gronk. So into the Gronk Fest. Let me just put this Class 24 over here out of the way. I'm guessing most people are at work today, and they'll come later on this evening after we've renamed the live stream and added a pretty picture. And we'll say, oh, what's going on? What have I missed?
Are you making work for me?
Yeah. James Sucks in life. I've read that
Does he?
out.
Oh,
Can
that
you run the
sounds
Class
nice.
5, please? Yes, the Class 5 is running. So you're going to see the Class 5 going across the top of the sort of the upper level there. So let's have a look. McBenman1, hi Jenny and Zoe, hello to you. Rule 1 Model Railways, Jenny's channel, the place to get your Gronk fix. Oh, me poor hatsies. See if we'll just catch the Gronk going down. There she goes. Got a bit. Oh no, that's not the Gronk. That's the Class 5. Where is the Gronk? Oh, right. No, the Gronk is coming. So if I change to that angle. Yes. Dick Hardy coming through. I like transport. We are sorry to inform you that the 1605 JK rail service to Weir is now delayed by approximately 2 minutes. This is due to a derailment. Oh, I am well behind actually. I hit Clive Cobalt. Hi Jenny, do you have a Class 31? There was a Class 31 going round. I've taken it off to put the Class 9 on. So we have had that on. Hi to Mark Rice, Southern Train Girls. James Sucks in Life. Says hashtag Tuesday Club. No, it's the Jenny Monday Club Grand Tuesday outing. Wardle Road says, I'm confused what day it is. Yes, it happens to me a lot as well. Tom Wilmot says, can I see the Class 8 running? It's it's Class 9 we've got going round. Lapping Road, big hello to you. Josh's Train Room, Ben likes trains, hi to you. Guihun Reese Davies says, another live stream. Tom Wilmot says thanks, you're absolutely welcome. We're honestly, we're just doing this simply for testing out new microphone mount that we've got, and I take it people are liking the sound. It does actually sound a lot better though.
It sounds cleaner.
Good.
Because of the shock absorber, I'm able to reduce the amount of filtering we need for the background noise, which means that the overall audio quality is higher.
Excellent. Gordon McIlroy, hi guys. Jenny, would you consider interviewing Tony Northeastern on the Monday Club? He has scratch built a superb South Shield station. I have actually been seeing some pictures that cropping up on the Book of Face. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Once lockdown ends, it'll be a lot easier. I find it very difficult to interview people over like a video link.
You find it difficult to interview people full stop because you won't stop talking.
No, that's not entirely true.
Whenever we do the podcast, you start and you don't stop.
Whose mouth is flapping and won't shut up to let me keep talking about trains?
Josh's train room says, what microphone are you using? This is a Behringer C1.
It's a really great microphone, actually.
Yeah, it costs about 35 quid. You can get them on Amazon. They've been making them for decades.
Yeah, because we've got two of them. Our original one, we've had for about 10 years. 10,
maybe even 15. They've been making them for decades. They work so well, and I cannot recommend them highly enough.
Oh, and a big hello to Garthian, who says the TARDIS is on the Garrett's train. I don't know, did you leave the TARDIS in a wagon somewhere?
I did, I hid it last night and then no one noticed it, so I just left it there.
Garthian has spotted it right away. I don't know why you've got it on its side. There's plenty of clearance on that track.
I put it on its side specifically to hide it so that it was less obvious and then people would have to actually try and find it.
Well, there you are. It's quite happily trundling around. So I'm seeing quite a few familiar faces here. Like I said, this was not planned. Literally 10 minutes ago, I didn't know we were doing this. Mrs. Miggins over here just turned it on and went, "Oh, you're live, test it out."
Yeah, the idea was we needed a live test with proper feedback on whether the sound was better. So we're getting a quick question here. Tom, yeah, if you want to do a Q&A, that's fine. Tom Wilmot says, what is your layout based on?
It's inspired by Time Marshalling Yard, and essentially, I used to work. I used to work in Newcastle and lived in Durham, and I commuted on the train, and I was always fascinated by Time Marshalling Yard. And when you go further back, when I was at university in Durham, we used to go to places like the Metro Centre and to Newcastle itself. You keep an eye on the comments because I can't pontificate and keep reading the comments at the same time. But essentially, always used to fascinate me going past, seeing the control tower, the way that yard works. And I always vowed that I'd make a model that kind of paid homage to that at some point. Never had the space until we did a loft conversion here, and I thought I want to do it. It's obviously nowhere near as big as what a model of a marshalling yard would be, but hopefully it does capture the workability and the essence of a marshalling yard, time marshalling yard. And the way it's laid out is actually a lot of it is a. You can kind of work out, like, once you know it's inspired by Time Yard, it does make sense. Right, let's have a look. Karen says, do you have a Class 55? I do somewhere, but the trouble is, when I start changing trains, it takes me forever to catch up on the comments. Gary Lewis says, Daypol can't catch a break. 59 delay till next year, and no sign of their yeoman wagons. Yeah, I think Daypol is very much being let down by the factory that they're using, and I do feel very sorry for them because we've had issues with the Terrier that they did for rails with the first batch, with some of them exhibiting bowed running plates. We then had the motorised water tower that would pop an electrolytic capacitor, and they would literally launch their tops into space. They got recalled. That's how serious that was. And we've not seen them reappear, which suggests to me that Daypol must be seething about how that factory has let them down. We've then seen the issue, albeit a minor issue, but another issue with the Manor class, and as you say, delays on other things too. I'd agree with you. Yeah, Daypol really have been getting a spell of bad luck with all that.
Yeah, right. So we've got a few questions. Ben Davis says, why do we have 2 streams in 1 week?
Because we can. Essentially, all we're doing is testing equipment at the moment.
Yeah.
What you're looking at me like we've suddenly realised.
No, when you finished, I have another one.
All right, so I've got a question here. Okay. Ben Likes Trains asks, what is the locomotive that you've got the most of? And I think it's either Class 8 or what was the other one that I've got loads of? It's either Class 8 or it's Class 25. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do have a lot of both of those.
We've got a question here. Hello, this is an automated bot. Can you play Train Simulator? Not at the moment.
Not on the stream.
We will do a Train Simulator stream at some point, but not right now. And we have a complaint. Chris Hales from Heritage Railway says, the microphone is still faulty. I can still hear Zoe.
Boom!
I knew you'd like that one.
Boom! Oh, yes!
Chris, you have made her day. She is going to be dining out on that for ages.
Yes, I am. Karen asks, what is your most powerful train? Well, it's definitely the Garrett that's currently going round. So
man, that is a beast of a train.
There is a video that we did. Is this the longest train? And I can't remember, it's like 120, 110, 120 wagons. And it actually went all the way around and coupled up to the front, and there was no wheel spin or anything. So, essentially, I can hear
I can hear a high-pitched whine as well.
I think it's the Class 9. It's probably just gearing on it.
FMR Station says, oh my goodness, is it Monday? I know I've been away, but I didn't think I'd lost count of days.
Oh my god, I went to sleep on Monday night, and when I woke up it was Monday night again. Actually, no, that's just insomnia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Ben Davis says, Jennifer, have you seen more of the new Hatton's Project Genesis livery?
I've seen what Hatton's has officially put out. So a cup of tea was that? Just say it. It's easy.
No, you were talking. I was hoping that you just put a thumbs up underneath the camera.
I'm good. I've still got my can of we're rocking the Asda Tropical Crush Zero Sugar.
You see,
as the beverage of choice.
This is the thing. I was trying to be professional and not cause her to stop talking. You were answering a question, so I was just indicating with sign language, cup of tea. Jen, however, goes, eh? What? Eh? So professional. You were talking about the Hatton's Genesis liveries.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to be given the opportunity, probably in the next week, to be able to review some of the samples that they're looking to loan, which I'm really looking forward to, actually. I think that the Project Genesis project it's a game changer. It's really going to open up not just pre-grouping, but it's going to do a huge service for pre-grouping modelers, but also a lot of interesting prototypes. There's a lot of engineering prototypes. They were used extensively by the Big Four as well. And then a lot of small backwaters, say on the Isle of Wight railways, and also the Kent and East Sussex Railway, places like that. It does open up a lot of possibilities. Tim Condrup asks, is Bolton still on local lockdown? Yes, it's just been ramped up today. Garthian says, I have the same Garrett, got a sound chip to put into it at some point, going to be fun. Actually, there's a surprising amount of space in it. So it might not be as difficult as you think. And I think, isn't it pre-fitted with speakers front and back as well? So let's have a look. Hello, this is an automated bot. It says, what do you think of K-pop? I don't think I'm the target market, it has to be said. But don't get me wrong, did dance to Gangnam Style at parties when drunk. Trying to think of other K-pop groups. No, I don't think I'm the target audience really for that. FMR Station House, great to see you again actually. I know I've been away, but I didn't lose count of days, and yeah, it's not Monday, but see, Guillaume Reese Davies has burned. Yeah, definitely. She's gone now, so we're all right. Well, I'm losing track of where I am. Tom Wilmot says, my layout is based on the modern image West Coast Main Line as a fictional place called Cruton Station with a goods yard. Excellent. I think it's always great to kind of take what inspires you, but adapt it to your situation, because I think a lot of people struggle on the space to do a slavish copy of a real life location, and sometimes if you go down that route, you don't often have the space to be able to do the location that you want, so you end up doing like your little branch line termini, which sometimes isn't what you want. You think, well, that's what the space I've got to be able to model accurately. So it's nice to be able to adapt a real location and fictionalize it to meet with your needs. Ben Davis says, what's your favourite livery out of the Hattons Project Genesis so far? I think it has to be this an engineer's olive green one, and purely selfish reasons, because the period that I personally prefer modelling, that is pressing my buttons. But I love the London and North Western Railway liveries, the South Eastern and Chatham Railway liveries as well. I'm looking forward to the Great Central Railway livery. I've got loads of Great Central Railway locomotives with pretty much nothing for them to pull. In fact, I think technically I've got one Great Central liveried wagon, which is actually lettered up with the GC for Great Central, and I've got one other wagon which is lettered up for Cheshire Lines, which was the joint line which was run with the Great Central. But apart from that, I've got three Great Central Railway liveried locomotives and 2 wagons to go with them. Ben Davis says, thanks for the live stream. Absolutely welcome, no worries. Lapping roads, there's still a lot of background noise. Basically, that's the sound you're going to get from the trains going round. If I stop all the trains, and everyone's going to go, oh, what do you make us stop the trains for? So if I stop all of the trains, yeah, we don't get any real background noise. So this is a clean feed. This is what the loft sounds like without the background noise of trains running. It's actually quite soothing, isn't it? Oh, right. Yes, Gamehammer Classic Gamers is Bandmade. I'd forgotten about Bandmade. But they're not really K-pop, are they? Because they're more like a rock group that just has a particular quirk to them. Pennington TMD has just uploaded a new video, and it seems weird with no trains running, so let's get some things running again. I think there's gonna come on. Oops, no, wrong one. Where are you? And most of the noise is actually the Garrett, because it's got such a long train, and that makes a lot of noise with the wheels on the track. Can't find. Oh, there we are. There's the final one, which is the King class, which I had to do open DCC chip surgery last night on it. I got the Train-O-Matic chip in. Ben Davis, you're absolutely welcome. Simon Trains MRS, would it be lovely to see a 6-wheel coach in BR blue livery? Yeah, I'll be honest, there is definitely at least one photograph of a blue-grey 6-wheel coach that was used as a generator van, but it is in blue-grey livery. I believe it survived through until 1971. So that has been doing the rounds on the fora, and yeah, I'd love to see that. I know that Hattons are aware of it, because I spoke to Jack Morgans at Hattons about that very livery, and he says, yeah, we couldn't believe it when we saw the pictures, but there it was. I think there's at least 2 confirmed pictures of the same coach in BR blue grey, and they reckon it's probably the oldest coach. That and it's something like a London and North Western Railway cinema car that was paired with it. They reckon the pair of them are probably the oldest coaches to receive BR blue-grey livery. And both of them, I think the cinema car does actually survive in preservation at Quainton Road, but the 6-wheeler sadly appears to be confirmed as having been scrapped in 1971. Combat Bunny, yes, remember to tickle that like button. Don't forget as well, share the stream on social media, scare people, say it's Monday evening, you know. And also, if you haven't already done so, and you're wondering what the heck is this, then do remember to subscribe as well. Tony Wright asks, are you going to review the Bachmann 1P tank in Midland Crimson livery with sound? I have one on pre-order and have ordered the Hatton's Genesis coaches in Midland livery. It is very, very tempting, I have to say. Warwick Road Andy says, are BTS K-pop? I think they are, actually. And the more people are saying, oh, well, what about this one? What about this one?
BTS is K-pop.
There's also, who was the...
Bandmate were not K-pop. I was mentioning that you preferred J-Rock.
J-Rock. Right, fair enough. Gosh, all these terms, we had like...
J-Rock is Japanese rock.
Yeah, I gathered that much. You know, when I was young, you had rock, metal, thrash, and there wasn't that much crossover.
No.
Like a bit of rhythm and blues for the mum and dads.
Oh, back when R&B actually meant rhythm and blues
R&B
rather than just urban.
Was stuff like The Animals.
The Animals was so good.
AD Pullen, do you think Daypol issues will affect the D class? I really hope not, because it's been a run of bad luck for Daypol and Rails on some of these models, and it is a shame to see, because I know that they've put so much hard work into the project, so I really hope that they get all these problems ironed out by then. I'm not going to do any more train swapping at the moment, because it's really just an impromptu stream. But I will keep answering people's questions. Clive Cobalt, hi Jenny, I have finished putting in Daypol semaphore signals at my model of Haitian Harbour today. Excellent. It's actually something I must invest in, some Daypol working semaphore signals. I am actually quite intrigued to check them out and get them working. Oh no, I've read that one out. J. Paul Anderson, Jen, what do you think of the Linton and Barnstable Railway? It's getting extended, I hear. Yeah, they're slowly restoring it. The aim is to restore the full thing. They kind of stuck at Killington, I want to say Killington Lake, but that's Killington Lake's up in the Lake District. Oh, I can't remember the name of the place, but there's a short section from an original station up a couple of bridges up the line, and then there's a bridge which is never clear whether the bridge is filled in but still there, or whether the bridge is completely gone, and they need to actually dig out the cutting and build a new bridge. I suspect that the bridge got demolished, which is one of the reasons that they've kind of been at that point for a very long time. But yeah, another interesting project. Pico do suitable rolling stock for the Linton and Barnstable as well, ready to run in 009. Ben Davis says, out of Project Genesis Hattons, here are the one I like. Batch 1, BR Olive Green, SECR. Batch 2, MRC. What's MRC? Midland Railway Company. Lake, NCB Blue. Oh yes, actually, the NCB Blue. I do like those as well. Batch 3, Caledonian Railway, Metropolitan Railway. Actually, that's a very good point. I've got a couple of the Helgen Metropolitan Bobos. They'd go lovely with that. Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway, and Longmoor Military Railway. That is another good one as well, because I've got Basra, which is the class... is it the class... I never remember if it's the class 11 or class 10. I think it's the class 11. And I've also got Frank Ross, which is the USA Austerity Dock Tank. Tim Wilmot says, my layout is 3 metres by 2 metres. It's an acceptable space. Liam at New Mills Model Railway. Is it Monday again? Ah, yes. You see, the Monday Club proved so popular that we renamed Tuesday into Monday 2. So, welcome to Monday 2.
Monday 2. This time it's personal.
Yeah, something like that. Garthian says Killington Lane. Yeah, I'm getting it's because Killington Lake is at motorway services on the M6 southbound, somewhere in I think it's very much very south of Cumbria. Lovely place to stop actually, and it does look over Killington Lake. But I'm never clear whether Killington Lake is officially part of the Lake District or whether it's a reservoir, or what's going on. What is Killington Lake? Combat Bunny says, we are privileged as a bonus live chat. Oh no, don't make my ego swell up. I'll never get back down through the loft hatch.
It's true.
Ben likes trains. Dapel do a great 68 in OO gauge and N gauge. Do you have one? I don't do post-privatisation, but I've heard so many people say how good the Class 68 is that, in all honesty with you, I do wonder whether I should actually look to do a review on that, because I think that...
While you're fiddling, I've got to do something. It's
It's
Jenny, live from the surface of Mars.
The scrap line says, what's the history with EFE rail? Just bought a few new Clay Tigers which were once DJ models. Brackets Kerno. Right. EFE rail is it's Bachmann, but it's not. It's like a different sub range, and they've as far as I can tell, they bought the tooling from the administrators, or even possibly from the factory that took it in lieu of unpaid debts, that was developed by DJ Models. So there's the J94 Hunslet Austerity, excuse me, the Class 17 apparently was one which was pretty much complete, ready to release, but as I understand it, the factory effectively refused to progress because DJ Models had not paid the bills, so it didn't actually get released as a DJ Models model, but was pretty much complete. And then there was the stuff that Kerno Model Centre were doing, and I believe that Kerno Model Centre has done a deal with Bachmann, as have Helgen with their Class 35. So it's a bit of a motley crew going on there in that range, but essentially it's part of Bachmann, but not closely Bachmann. So we've got the Helgen Class 35 rebadged in that. We have the XDJM models, and then there's also items from the Kerno models stable too.
They should have a brand called Not Bachmann. And just run all the raw stuff.
Ben Davis says, I hope to get the Wainwright D class and the Southeastern and Chatham Railway grey scraped beading. Yeah, I have to say with you, my recommendation for the D class is there are two liveries which I utmost urge you to order to avoid being disappointed if they are the ones that you really, really want. They are the one in the full lined out Southeastern and Chatham Railway livery, and that grey one with the scraped beading. Now the Southeastern and Chatham Railway austerity grey livery is a bit of a sleeper hit. Now we've seen, I think there's at least there's definitely 3 locomotives I can think of that have been released in that livery. Now we've had the P class from Hattons. It is the only P class to sell out, and it did sell out quite quickly. So bear that in mind. We also had a C class from the Bachmann Collectors Club released in that livery. It sold out reasonably quickly. And then we've also had an N class from quite some time ago, actually, number 810 in that livery that was part of a 2 N class boxed set. You can still find them second hand out and about. They are out there. Lovely, lovely livery on that locomotive. But with those 3 liveries already out there, 2 of which have definitely sold out pretty quick, and the third one is a desirable one. I really do suggest that you get an order in for that one. The other ones, yeah, I suspect that some of them will sell out quite quickly as well. But my prediction is that those 2 are the must-order ones, no matter what. If you leave it until the day that they actually hit the shops, there's a good chance you're going to be disappointed. Ben Davis says, I wish I could get the Bachmann Class 11 in Longmoor Military Railway livery. It was one that was a Model Zone exclusive. Didn't actually sell particularly well when it was in Model Zone. I remember it hanging around for a good long time, and it was still there in the fire sale when Model Zone went bankrupt and they did the huge fire sale of all the remaining stock. And that was when I bought mine, because I thought, actually, no, I'm going to have it. I quite like the Longmoor Military Railway. The livery didn't, it looks a bit odd on it, I must admit, but I thought, you know, it's miss it and miss out. I'm actually really glad that I bought that model. I'm looking at it. The reason I keep glancing up there is because it's on the shelf. It's looking at me. But yeah, it's a lovely model. It has been released, I believe, in the main range in N gauge by Graham Farish. But in terms of another 00 gauge release, unless they say did a weathered one, but there was a second one. There were two at the Longmore Military Railway in that livery. So there's nothing stopping them from doing the other one. But they may well have looked at how long it took Model Zone to actually sell those, and may think that there's just not enough demand. Garthian says, I can answer most of the stuff to do with narrow gauge if you ask. I do seem to be a huge fan of all narrow gauge lines. I must admit, I'm getting quite into it. I want to build, I think probably as a homage to how much I love the look of the new Pico-Kato collaboration on the small Englands that should be coming through in Q1 next year. I am wanting to build a Festiniog themed model layout.
I've got a question for you, Jen.
Simon Trains MRS, just quickly do this. The Monday Club 2, Return of the Jennifer.
I'm thinking, if we're doing a Q&A, shall we go for another 25 minutes? So we go till about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So guys, if you have any questions, now is your chance. As long as it's not the one about where babies come from.
Darthian says it's great to see cooperation between the manufacturers. Yeah, to some degree, I think it is. Hello, this is an automated bot. Can you do a double header with largest and smallest? Not really. I'm not going to be messing about with the trains on the tracks. They're quite simply... I know I did change a few at the beginning, and actually that Class 5 is one of my smoothest running locomotives in my collection. I do love that. But I'm not going to mess around too much. I'm just going to concentrate on answering questions. Now, we've got for an impromptu during a school day.
It's not during a school day. It's 4:30.
Yeah, people who are out of work and stuff. But it's a pretty good turnout. We've got 88 people watching. Don't forget to tickle the like button. Share on social media as well. Yeah, why not? Sharing is caring. And if you haven't already done so, if you've blundered into this stream and are wondering what the heck is going on, but actually you quite like it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well.
Okay, we've got one here from Lapping Road. How's the Garden Railway going?
The Garden Railway, I've not done anything with it. It's slowly getting buried under leaf mulch again. In all honesty, the gradients are too steep. I have had an O-gauge pannier going round there last year. It did go round on DCC. The back EMF all sorts things out. But I'm going to relay a lot of it. Now, there's a conifer tree that needs to be got rid of because it's got far too big and is becoming a liability. And what I'm thinking of doing is actually taking up the track, getting that tree taken down, so that will avoid the track getting damaged. And then I want to relay a lot of the garden layout so that the gradient is less severe. I've got something like about 1.5 foot headroom underneath the girder bridge, and it doesn't need that. I want to change it so the girder bridge stays the same height, but I want to bring the track that's underneath it up to the point where there's a generous but not too generous clearance above the locomotives in stock to the underside of the bridge, and that in turn will dramatically ease the gradients elsewhere, and it may then mean that I can run live steams such as the Mammoth on it, which at the moment I can't do because it won't cope with the steepness of the gradients. And that's where the Garden Railway is at. I've been really impressed by the New Junction's Garden Railway videos. He does have a very big garden. His garden's about 2 to 3 times the size of mine, and certainly his is more conducive to a big garden railway. Mine isn't. So by reducing the gradient, I actually might stand a chance of running some bigger locomotives and rolling stock. And I need to figure out a way of getting that track fettled, because at the moment it's just chucking stuff off the track quite easily. But that's where the Garden Railway is up to.
Okay, we've got one from Tom Wilmot, which is in. I think we've answered this several times. In fact, I might have answered it last night. How many continuous trains running on different lanes can you run?
There's 4 continuous tracks up here. So as is running now, there are 4 trains running continuously, and that is all that I can do to leave and just fire up and forget. I can run a lot more trains, but you have to drive them because they run out of track. I really want to get set up one of the ABC shuttle type modules on DCC that will automatically reverse stuff. I know DCC Concepts do them. They demonstrated these to me when I did go up and visit the showrooms in Settle, and that is something that I would like to play around with. So Richard Brighton, if you're watching this from DCC Concepts, I'd love to try out and review your ABC reverse shuttle system. But I think that would be quite nice. So you could have things like shunters shuffling through the actual marshalling yard down to the bottom and then back again, and have them just, I think you can program the number of seconds it waits before it reverses direction at each end, and I think that would add a real extra operational interest to the actual running of the layout, and I could see myself making great use of that. And it's something which I wasn't even aware of that DCC could do quite readily, and a lot of the decoders
until we went to that shop,
support it. Yeah, and of course Train-O-Matic as well do their own system, and they have sent some braking modules where if you have, say, a signal, you can set it up so when the signal's set to red, your train will just slow down and halt until you turn the signal to green, and then it will go again. And effectively, your train is interlocked to the signals, is how they're being controlled.
That's pretty smart.
And they also have the same system as well. So I'm really, really keen to add that into Weir Yard. And there's a couple of different places I want to do it. I quite like, as I said before, the ability for a shunter to go.
Got those 2 inner lines there. I'm pointing into the thing onto those 2 inner lines because we don't see an awful lot on those. And all of these, it would be more interesting to start using those, wouldn't it?
But they can be used. They're alternative loops for the inner that.
So
track.
You could actually run continuously on those.
Oh yes.
Right.
But, effectively, that train, the class 9 that's going around, the grey one, it can run on all 3 of those as continuous loops. You just send it down whichever. So what I actually tend to do, in the early days, before I decided it looked a bit crowded when I just left them that way, you can have trains sat in those loops waiting to go, and you can then very easily switch between different trains. But what I would like is the ability for a shunter to go from the top of the yard, over the hump, very unprototypical for a hump yard, down through the yard to the signal box at the far end. But also I like the idea of a train that shuffles on this incline over this bridge and just goes from down there to up here and shuffles backwards and forwards.
You do love your bridges.
I do actually. I think bridges add such a great deal of operational interest to and visual aesthetics and to a model railway.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, you may.
Okay, I'm just bringing it back up. You can't really see it on screen.
And we don't want the question about where babies come.
We can't see it on screen, so I'm going to try and jump to the first.
Do you want the roving
yard? Right, you can kind of see it just behind the bridge.
Behind the bridge.
Yeah, the grass. Have you added more static grass to that? Because it's starting to look really like it needs a lawnmower.
Yeah, that's been fully static grassed. It featured. I'm sure I featured it in one of my videos.
Jen, I don't pay attention. I edit them and make them look nice, and then I forget what you did.
But I minded that actually. I'm thinking, oh good God, it's just jumped. There's like 99 people in.
Okay, so yeah, go back to the questions now.
Right, Mike and Sue Putnam Junction. Hi all, nice surprise to see you all again. It's great to see you as well. Ben Davis says, Jennifer, have you seen the Graham Farish LMS Stania 8F and LMS line Crimson livery? I wish Hornby did one in 00 scale. I have seen that model and I completely agree with you on that as well. Garthian says, I'll have to bring my K1 to yours when I'm able to, and social distancing is removed, both the 16mm and 009 one I have. Yeah, I haven't built the 009 layout yet, but yes, certainly that would be lovely to go on the Garden Railway. And Garthian says, is Zoe going to be able to get a pizza today?
I ordered one last night when Jen wasn't looking, and then it just...
She did. She did.
So, I told her I was going to.
No, I am not buying another pizza.
You didn't buy the one last night, I did.
No, but you're not buying another one. But, like I said, 400 concurrent viewers and 400 likes. I'm never going to get that today. Ben Likes Train says, I want to get the Small England Loco, even though I model an N-gauge, because it looks so good. It does. It is an amazing model, and I think actually... I will get one. I am going to build a little layout, but I think when it's not, that layout is not in use, my plan is actually to put that locomotive on something like a well troll or a war well wagon, and actually have it up here as a load that goes around the layout. Garthian says, if you use code 200, you can run 16mm narrow gauge stuff. Yeah, I'm using the, I think it's a code 123 or 125. And it's the point work, actually. The plain track, the 16mm narrow gauge stuff, it's on 32mm track. It does run quite happily on the plain track. It's the point work it doesn't like.
Okay, Tom Wilmot says, are you going to be at Milton Keynes Model Railway Show this year?
I have no immediate plans to, and I'm not even sure whether physical shows are going to be going on at the moment, I have to say. But AD Pullen asks, similar thing here, do you have any guests planned for any Monday clubs? Sorry to ask. No, don't apologise. Yeah, I'd love to get more guests in, obviously with social distancing and the local lockdown as well. We're completely unable to get guests in at the moment, and haven't been able to since March.
It's so annoying. We want Les back on the show.
We want to get Les back on.
Your co-host.
Ollie as well. There's an open invite for Ollie. I also want to invite O'Neill on. I talked to him. And I have talked preliminarily with Sans Trains about doing something as well. And I don't know whether it'll be in person. Probably not in person, but we're going to try and sort something out. I really want to get Richard from New Junction on as well, but he's like the Scarlet Pimpernel. He's always somewhere else whenever we were trying to get him on. So yeah, there are a few people that I really want to get on as guests, but quite simply the lockdown and COVID and all that has just really caused an issue.
Oh, Tom says the Great Electric Train Show, I meant.
Oh, is that the virtual model railway exhibition?
I don't know. I'm not fully up on it.
If that's the virtual model railway exhibition, I have not been invited to be on any of these virtual model railway exhibitions, and I feel very aggrieved that I'm not allowed to hang out with the cool kids. But I don't actually get asked a lot to do various things, and when I queried this with somebody, they said, well, people sometimes feel a bit intimidated by you. And
well, you are scary.
Well, no. I think it's, when you've done TV stuff and that, people just assume that you'd be like, oh yes, well my fee is £1,000 a second. People think you're going to be like too expensive, and I'm not. And I think it was Jason from MRYCG. He sent me a message saying, would it be possible to interview you? It's like, yeah, fine. And all of a sudden, it's like people are like, oh, we can interview her. And Ollie as well. Ollie asked to come out, and Dave Jones from Cottesmore. And like, yeah, it's grand. I like being asked to do stuff.
Yeah, you like just talking to people, don't you?
I like feeling popular. I like being liked. Right. Simon Trains MRS says, I found out 30 minutes ago when my phone buzzed and saw the notification. By the way, get the bell on. Definitely, yes. Don't
Ring
forget.
That bell. Ring
tickle.
that bell.
Yeah, no, stop that now. Stop that. Don't forget to tickle the like button, share the stream on social media, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon and you'll be the first to know about new videos as when they go up. Right.
Lee Holden says, is this extra live stream to do with COVID-19 in Bolton and the restrictions it's putting on yourself, Jenny? No, it's because we added a shock absorber to the microphone and we wanted to make sure it worked.
Yeah, quite literally. There's nothing. I mean, I don't know. Can we actually even get that into shot?
Yeah, with the roving cam.
Oops.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just see it in shot there. There's probably awful racket going. Right. Okay. So this thing that surrounds the microphone is the shock absorber, and quite simply, it's because over the past few months, there's been, if I catch the desk, that noise there that you just heard has been like, this video sponsored by Billy's Replacement Speakers, and people who've had headphones on have been like, ah. So we finally decided that actually one of the things we could easily do was get a shock absorber for the microphone, and it's actually working out really well. So today was all about testing that, and it's kind of morphed into this live stream, which is totally impromptu. We did swap around a few locos at the start because what you see is what was left over at the end. We did the live stream last night, and then Mrs. Muggins over there went and ordered a pizza, so I felt I had to choke some down. But hello to Minnie with Aston Junction. David Ellingford, did you find out what was wrong with the sound decoder that went pop last night? I didn't know. It's currently sat in a box up there. I have no idea what's gone wrong. There's no magic smoke came out. There's no signs of burning. It appears to be the issue that was talked about on the last stream about the Castle class decoders, certainly the early ones, going pop mysteriously, and that Hornby apparently had an issue with these that had then been rectified. But I guess it's just old stock, and I will investigate it further. I don't actually have one of those decoder testers which would allow a more in-depth probing of what's gone on there. But I just can't get it to respond. It doesn't short out the track. It doesn't draw any extra current. It's almost like its little miniaturized computer brain has been completely scrambled. And I don't know what's going on there. Now that it's had it's had overnight to cool down, what I might actually do is put it into a locomotive and see if it works. But I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with it. Alan McDonald says, ouch. Oh, is that presumably if we messed about with the microphone? Viaduct Central Model Railway, hi to you. AD Pullen, what do make Simon Kohler claim they more than one ghost? Don't understand what you typed there. How
many ghosts at Hornby?
What do make Simon Kohler claim they more than one ghost at Hornby?
Is it some kind of code?
I don't know. Ben Davis says, sorry Jennifer, do you know Bassett Loke standing passengers are coming out? Yes, it's the steampunk range.
We need to see. I so need to see this.
Hornby did at the beginning of the year promise that they would let me review the steampunk range. I don't believe they're in the shops yet. I must actually drop a line to Hornby and just ask about that, because I do really, really want to do something steampunk. I know Laurie Calvert, the guy who designed all of those. I know him through Great Model Railway Challenge. I've met him a few times. In fact, if I rummage in my little pile of badges that people give to me at shows, I do actually have one of his badges, and that's for his layout, Cato Pass Sci-Fi Railway. So I'm gonna.
We need to start putting those badges up on yourselves above you.
Maybe I need to get I need to borrow Les's hot glue gun. So
just get some glue gun.
It's very difficult to. You won't really be able to see that. It just won't go into focus. But there's the badge from Laurie Calvert's Cato Pass layout. He was handing them out at Wally a couple of years ago when I actually met him. And it was great to talk with him. It's actually the one and only time I've met him in person, but I've talked to him a fair amount through the old Book of Face and that. And I did interview him on. I think we had him on as an interview guest.
We did, specifically about the steampunk
stuff. And it was specifically about the steampunk range from Hornby, which was great.
Mostly because I was badgering you, like, Jen, talk to the guy. I need to know about the steampunk stuff.
Yeah, no problem. Garthian has already spotted the
I've moved it.
Oh, apparently, Guardian, it's not there anymore.
It was there. He
was,
spotted
yeah.
it, so I moved it.
Patrick Furlong asks, Jenny, do trains draw more power depending on how many trucks or carriages they're pulling? Yes, they do, but it's not a massive extra current draw, it has to be said. They are quite efficient after all. But yeah, if you load up a train, it will start to draw a little bit more current. But for example, that huge long train that you're seeing still crawling through the screen there behind the garret, we're still only pulling 0.42 of an amp on the entire layout, and that's now dropping 0.41, 0.40, 0.39. So I'm guessing that
you changed the outcome by observing it.
I did actually, yeah. And I think a lot of that change is probably the Class 5 shunter, because it's going up and downhill, and that probably has a bigger effect than the length of the train on the level ground. Clive Cobold asks, Jenny, what is your favourite class of electric locomotives? I really do have a soft spot for, it'd be a toss-up between the Class 76 and the Metropolitan Bobo from the, that Helgen, also a Helgen model. But yeah, it's difficult to call it really. I quite like the Class 85s as well, but the 83s, nobody does a model of them. But they did actually, I think 10 of them or 8 of them, did get repainted into Intercity Swallow livery when they were used on empty carriage services out of, I think it was Euston Station in London in the 80s. So arguably, even though they weren't as long lasting as the Class 85, that might have been one that Bachmann probably should have done instead of the Class 85. But yeah, it was a tough call on that one. Right, we're going to round this up now.
A.D. Pullen says, in Hornby's magazine video, Simon Kohler said that there's a ghost at Hornby's old factory in Margate.
Oh, right, yes, he did say that. I'm not aware of it, but I have to say I don't believe in ghosts. So you get that at a lot of places.
Do you not believe in ghosts as in ghosts aren't real, or do you not believe in ghosts as in the physical manifestation of an effect of ultra high frequency vibrations can cause hallucinations?
I think the second one is probably true, and I think there's not like things in sheets.
Then if you don't believe in ghosts, why did you put a haunted house on your layout?
Oh, because that's the Noch Geisterhaus kit, and at the time it was £200. I have noticed it's dropped down to about £140. Still very expensive, but it is a lovely kit, no painting required, and it is sound fitted. But sadly, mine is not sound fitted because the sound module got lost when we were filming the Great Model Railway Challenge.
You put it into that haunted chest, didn't you, where it opened and there was sounds coming out and lights.
Yeah,
and
it got moved over into the chest.
Yeah.
And then in the clear up at the end, somebody whizzed the chest, and by the time I realised the sound chip was still in it, we were at halfway home.
Oh well. But I enjoyed putting that together, to be honest with you.
It's still got the lighting effects. So you can still see this sort of weird, it's like a blue laser effect, which creates little holographic images.
Are we allowed to talk about my assistants?
Yeah, I don't see why not. The Cupboard Monkey actually pre-assembled that kit into 3 separate sections, so it could be quickly assembled on site.
Yeah,
so,
we weren't allowed to build the entire thing because you weren't allowed it as a pre-build. But
we weren't allowed pre-builds, and that was for the semi-final. But what we did was that we built it into 3 big blocks, which could then be assembled on site.
And it took me, what, 18 hours?
18 hours of build, so there was no way that could have been built entirely on site, because it would have involved a single team member being constantly involved with building it, and you got high off the blue fuse.
Yeah, I spent 18 hours with a little thing of glue and all of that stuff, and it gave me such a headache. I had the day off the day after because I just had such a headache. But it was fun. I enjoyed having my little part to play.
Yeah. Mike and Sue Putnam Junction says, "Well done, Zoe. There's dedication."
Oh, I watched an entire series of what was it, Jessica Jones Series 2.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah, I
remember
remember,
any
yeah.
of it.
Doc Savage one says, Jennifer, you must have enjoyed Halloween when you were a child, though. What you've got to remember is that I know that the years have been kind. No, they haven't. But
You're 70, aren't you?
I know, well, I'm of an age where Halloween wasn't a big deal when I was a kid. It happened. We had All Hallows Eve, the Halloween thing, and we used to do apple bobbing. And for one night only, you might have a little kids' party where you dressed up as witches and wizards, and that was it. And then really, I don't even remember pumpkins being about.
They weren't. When I was a kid,
They
we had
actually grow them in this country now.
Yeah, but it wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah,
Americanism has crept in since the mid-90s, really.
Yeah, so Halloween, you have to remember, is become a big thing since I was a child.
Combat Bunny says, I hope you got paid well, Zoe. Jenny bought me a computer game and I was very, very happy.
Which computer game did I buy for you?
Don't ask me these things.
Patrick Furlong, cheeky. Zoe, I thought Jenny was 376. Rule 1 Model Railway says, whoever was looking to go to the Great Electric Train Show this year, it is also cancelled. Unfortunately, I was talking with Lawrence Robbins from the MRC who organise Alexandra Palace, and he opined that actually he secretly thinks that Alexandra Palace next year, so March 2021, is at risk of being cancelled because of COVID. So I think that we're in this for the long haul, unfortunately, and until we get a good workable vaccine and good take-up of that vaccine, I think that a lot of things are going to be very, very disrupted. Right, I'm going to round things off now, because have we been going for an hour then or something?
Yeah, about an hour.
Wow. It's been great hanging out with you guys, and like I said, impromptu. We were just testing out new equipment that we've installed. That's all it really was for. But I had this vision of us just doing it to like an empty room, and we've now got 113 people in the live stream, which is absolutely amazing. I can remember when we first started the live streams, the day that we went over 100 was a big red letter day, because it's like, wow, look at that, we're never going to top this.
It has been so great. The amount of support you guys have shown, Jim, is just, it's humbling.
We couldn't do this without you guys, and certainly it's been an absolute honour to be able to entertain you guys. But look, until next time. Sorry, I've got like dust in the back of my throat.
Okay, I'm going to get you offline now and get you a drink. Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Very much. Anyway, you take care, and we've got a video coming up on Wednesday, which is a full review of the all-new tooled Bachmann Class 24-1. So do stay tuned for that. On Friday as well, we've got another video which I can't actually remember. It's been filmed for a couple of weeks. I think it may be the return of the top 5 format, but it's the top 5 best value for money ready to run diesel locomotives. So that's looking through what bargains are available out there and trying to help you guys out by sourcing where you can find these incredibly good value locomotives. And then Stockford Barn, we will be doing filming on Sunday. So we've got a big day of filming planned for that, which will feature as the following week's Friday video. And then the Wednesday video for next week as well. We've just finished doing all the filming for that, but that may get bumped because I am also hoping to be able to review the Rails Daypole sound-fitted Terrier. So do stay tuned for that, and also stay glued to the Facebook page where we'll keep you updated of all the news and chat and gossip that is going on in the world of model railways. Until next time, you take great care of yourself. It's me, Jenny Kirk, saying bye for now.